Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to another edition of the Evolution Now podcast. I am your host, Mr. Terrance Johnson. As always, thank you so very much for joining me. I hope you guys have been gaining some insight from the things we discuss and the topics we cover. But before we get into the program today, I just want to thank all of you. We're almost at 60,000 followers. I don't know what to say outside of thank you, man. All I can do is say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, I need you to make sure you hit that follow button. I need you to make sure you subscribe over there on YouTube and on TikTok. We got a lot of great events planned for the summer that's coming down the pipeline. Everything has just exploded, to be honest with you. The amount of people and the responses that we're receiving is just simply incredible. I thank God for it. I hope that it's helping you. Obviously, it's doing some positive impact because we're having all the success with it. So with that being said, in the studio today, I have my guy. He's off camera right now. He's going to ask me some questions that we're going to cover and discuss and some real-time topics. But before we do that, I want to take a moment and shout out a particular follower and just let him know how much I appreciate him and his kind words to me. He knows who he is, and we're going to start our day with gratitude. So let's just say, hey guys, let's be grateful for what we have, where we are. There are always challenges. There's always obstacles. That's part of life. That is part of life. Challenges are a part of life, but still we can take time to be grateful and to be thankful for what we have and to be grateful for where you are, who's in your life. It's very easy to take advantage and to lose sight of those things. So, hey, start your day with some gratitude. Be thankful for your health, your family, your loved ones, and let's move forward from there. Now, let's get into the podcast. I have in here my guy, Gus. Gus is going to ask me some questions, and I'm going to fire away. Forgive me if I'm wiping my forehead. It's a little warm in the studio today, and it is what it is. It is what it is. When I have a little perspiration, that means that the downloads are coming through, so to speak. Let's just leave it at that. All right, what we got, Gus?
Can we talk about the agenda to keep us separated?
The agenda to keep us separated. You know, I have quite a few clients from a very diverse background. And what most people fail to realize that a lot of us are all dealing with the same challenges. And the agenda, if you cannot see the agenda that's in front of us, which is to separate us. You see, as long as you are divided, whether you be in your home, in business, in your culture, your society, that structure won't stand. It's actually it's an old biblical term, if you will. A house divided against itself can't stand. There is an agenda. Now, whether people want to accept this or not, it's fine. I hope that you understand what I'm about to share with you. There is an agenda to keep men and women separate. You see, most people don't understand this about what I would call the feminist movement. The feminist movement, in my opinion, had nothing to do with women. It didn't. It had everything to do with a tax base. And because in the original, before all this happened, half of the population wasn't being taxed, and now you have the women who are working and you can tax them. But also, the second agenda behind that was to send the children to school earlier. And by doing so, you see the indoctrination that happens among our society. Most people are looking toward the government for too much and not being self-sufficient. So when I say there's a division among you, when you constantly hear that men aren't needed or men aren't valued, when you constantly hear women being degraded, talked down to, disrespected in that shape, form, or fashion, it's going to cause a great deal of animosity and division. Well, here's what I will tell you, because there is no creature on this planet that is not looking for a mate. If you go in the animal kingdom, an eagle's looking for an eagle, a squirrel's looking for a squirrel, a lion is looking for a lioness, it's just, a whale is looking for another male whale, if you will, or female whale. It's just nature itself. And so when we embrace the natural process of life, life tends to be a lot better. But when we go against what's natural, when we go against what we're normally supposed to do, my friend, you're going to create chaos. And I think you see the headwinds of it, fiery headwinds of it in our society with the division between men and women. So, yeah, I just will hope that you would be wise enough and smart enough not to partake in that message and narrative, because it's just one that's going to leave you alone, separate, and very easily controlled. It's not good to be alone, no matter what anyone tells you, period. What you got?
Well, you just are celebrating 3 decades of marriage. Do you have any tips?
30 years, how do I survive
30
30 years of marriage? This is what I tell people. I'm going to put this real simple so everyone can understand this. I watch these podcasts, and it's really amazing that people have just simply forgot how to love each other. Everyone's talking about the bag and duties and responsibilities. No one really talks about just loving each other, which in itself is very, very sad that we even have to have this type of dialogue. Just really understand the graveness of the situation, that men and women have forgotten how to love each other, which is a very, very sad thing. But here's what I would tell anyone. Here's what I would tell a man. Now, and I want you to understand this. I'm going to put it in a simple term. Some might agree, some may not, but here you go. As a man, you should love your wife the way you loved your mom. Most young men will do anything for their mother. Anything. You understand me? It's just the truth. You know, mama's boys, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't negate the fact that there is a special bond between a mother and her son. It's just the truth. Now to my queens, my ladies, my sisters, listen to me. You need to talk to your husband or boyfriend the way you talk to your boss. And if you can talk to him the way you talk to your boss, and if you could speak to her the way you, or treat her the way you would treat your mother, then you won't have any problems. And here's what I would say to my lovely ladies. Men value respect above love. Respect. I've been married 30 years. My wife has never talked about respect. She's always talked about love. I need you to love me. I need you to be affectionate towards me, and these type of things. A lot of things that a lot of men struggle with because we think it somehow attacks our masculinity. This is the farthest thing from the truth. And I would say to my lovely ladies, you must talk to him with a level of respect, because once you master the art of communication between the two of you, there's nothing you can't accomplish. There's nothing you can't build. Now, in those 31 years, have there been disagreements? Absolutely. Come on now. Sometimes I'll just wake up and she'll look at me like, oh, wow, I got to deal with this guy again. I'm just joking. That's not necessarily the case. I'm trying to be light about it. But of course, there are times in your marriages where you might go 3 or 4 months, sometimes several years, and things might not be the best. But what I'm grateful for that I was able to endure. And a lot of times I think a lot of young couples give up way too quickly for one simple reason. They don't want to go through anything together. Everyone wants to ride high. Everyone wants everything to be great. The communication is great. The sex is great. The money's great. Everything's great. Well, honestly, that's not a realistic expectation of life. Just like you have the sun, you have storms. You know, some days are windy. Some days are cold. Some days are hot. Some days are beautiful. And that's how marriage is. I just hope you would stay in the situation long enough to experience the several seasons that you actually go through. And if you can withstand that time, I assure you it's well worth it. I'm very grateful for my wife. I thank God that I've been married this long. It hasn't been easy all the time, but I have no regrets, because without her, I would not be where I'm at today. And I'm sure she would say vice versa. You know, so I would just encourage couples, if you love someone, if you really love someone, give it the benefit of the doubt. Don't run out. There are exceptions. If someone's beating on you, disrespecting you, talking reckless to you, that's something different. I'm not saying that. Don't be a doormat for nobody, man or woman. But what I'm saying to you, you have basic disagreements, little arguments, little spikes in your relationships that you'll look back on 5 years from now and you can't even remember what you were arguing about. Believe it, I've been through that. So relationships are key. The deal is, what I would say to any man or woman, you must learn to love yourself. Don't look to a man to make you happy. He'll never fulfill that obligation. Don't look to a woman to make you happy. Think about it. Before you met each other, you had your own life, whatever you were doing. And you meet someone and you start talking to them, you have this connection, this chemistry, you guys start kicking it, whatever the case might be, you have a great relationship. But then over a period of time, the highness wears off, the infatuation is not as strong, and you start developing a daily routine of life, what some might consider boring, humdrum, or whatever. But let me tell you, boring leads to peace. I'm going to say this to you again. A boring life leads to peace. I don't mean boring where you're not doing anything, but sometimes you'd be surprised how valuable your peace is, especially as you get older. Now, when I was younger, I ran the streets and did what a lot of young people do. You know, that's what it is. But as you get older and you learn what to do or what not to do, you'll value your peace. And I assure you, you're going to value your peace and that companionship of that person you love. So don't buy into the narrative that they're selling you. Don't buy into the narrative, you know, and listen, let me just keep it real. Should a man get married in this country in 2024? I'm an advocate of marriage. But in the current state of how it is, no. No, I'm not going to sit out there. I wouldn't tell anyone to invest in a highly volatile stock. Okay? I would not do that. And now I'm not opposed to marriage. I hope that you find someone. But you're going to have to look long. You're going to have to look hard. You're going to have to look deep. Because the way that the narrative is portrayed in society, the men say there's no benefit to marriage and women want a marriage, but you have to understand, this is what I say. Most women want a man until he acts like one. I'm going to say that to you again. Most women want a man to provide her, to protect her, and all these things until he acts like one. And most men want a woman until the responsibility of maintaining and keeping that family together comes upon him, and he finds that's a very heavy load. A lot of this, believe it or not, goes back to how you're raised. And you must understand this by design. When you grow up without a father, when you grow up without someone teaching you how to be responsible, men and women's roles in their children's lives are entirely different. Mothers are nurturers and caregivers. I had a mom. My mom, she tried to discipline me the best she could, but my father was about that business. How you young folks say, he stood on business. He wasn't going for none of that. And if I didn't have my father, I assure you I would not be where I'm at today. So listen, everyone is valuable. Relationships are valuable. Learn to understand the importance of relationships, the importance of people that are around you and that you love, and don't take any of it for granted. Because you know what? Regardless of the challenges that you're facing at this current time, at least you woke up today, because I can assure you someone else didn't. Hope that helps. What else we got?
All right. In general, we had someone write in, they're dealing with the passing of a loved one. What best advice do you have for them?
They're dealing with the passing of a loved one. Well, I will speak from experience. The day that my mom died was 2 days in my life that I can surely recognize as the two most painful days I've ever experienced. The day that my mother passed and the day that my wife almost died. And there are pains that are basically indescribable. There are pains that there are no words that can articulate how you're feeling. What did I do to get through it? I will say this to you. Did I get over my mom passing? No. I miss her greatly, trust me. Her smile, her laugh, all of that. But what I have learned to do is to deal with it and to accept that this is what is. And the way I honor my mother's memory is by being the best version of who I am. And I'm sure all your parents would want what's best for you. Just because I'm close to my 60s does not mean that, my mom and dad would want what's best for me, even though my father's, hitting the almost close to the 80-year marker. I believe he's close to that. But nevertheless, how do you deal with it? One day at a time. One day at a time. Here's what I will tell you. Don't let the death of someone destroy you, because in the process, 2 people die. So remember that. Don't let the death of a loved one, a spouse, a child, a dear friend, it's okay to hurt, it's okay to cry, believe me, and feel what you're feeling. I understand it, but don't let that destroy you, because in essence, we really are burying 2 people that day. So talk to people, talk to your friends, talk to your families. I know a lot of times as men, we want to express ourselves. I'm trying to break that narrative with us. I ain't telling you go chop it up with your chick, because she might throw it back in your face. Believe me, I understand that. But if you got a dude that you can talk to, a brother that you can talk to and share your heart with without looking at you sideways and thinking you weak, soft, crazy, or something like that, hey man, we all need someone to speak with and to talk to and to share our feelings and emotions with, especially when there's death involved. Those are some very trying times and very difficult times. And all I can tell you is it's something that we're all destined to do. It is something that we're all destined to feel. And what I have learned from it is, hey, when you see someone die, there are several things that should happen. One of them, it should make you appreciate your life. If you don't appreciate your life, I want to give you a suggestion. Go to your local hospital, go to the emergency room, and go to the ward where the ICU is, and see how many people are in that room by themselves with that machine beeping. How do I know this? Because when my wife was gravely ill, that's what I saw. No one was coming to visit people. All you hear is the beeping of a machine and that type of thing, and it's just you, your loved one, your thoughts, and God. You'll really find out what's important when you're made to see what's important. Next question.
So this is kind of a follow-up when you mentioned a couple times in the last answers that I've also noticed there's a rift in society between showing affection and masculinity, with the risk of be called soft or simp. Why is that?
Because people are easily controlled and influenced by the words of others. First of all, I'm 56 years old. I didn't start hearing this simping thing till maybe a year or 2 ago. If loving your wife and children and being affectionate to them is simping, then I guess I'm a simp. That's what else to tell you. I love my wife, I love my family, and I would do everything in my power to provide and protect for them. What I will say is my definition of simping is doing all that and not getting nothing in return. You're doing all that, you're spending your money, you're doing all these things and not getting anything. That doesn't make you a simp, that just makes you foolish, in my opinion. But yeah. I don't listen. I would say this to any man. You cannot sustain a relationship with your wife being hard. You cannot sustain a relationship with your wife being mean or cruel. And that door swings both ways. Let's just put it. I'm not trying to put the onus only on the man, but I think in order for men to understand their natural role, are men and women equal? Fuck no, man. Everybody knows. Well, I don't deal with delusion. We're not equal at all. Not at all. I'm 6'9", 275 pounds. My wife is 5'4", maybe $130, $140, right? Someone break into my crib, who's more apt to protect each other, her or me? Common sense, man. Now, does that mean that women don't have equal value? Of course they have value, man. Where would we be without women? How are we gonna have children? You know, women do a lot of things better than men. Trust me. I wouldn't leave my baby with a bunch of men. I wouldn't leave an infant with a bunch of men. That's just not natural to do so. But I would feel more comfortable leaving that infant with a bunch of women. And even that could be a risk. Some of them put their babies in the trash can. But no one talks about that. But what I will say to you is this. Understanding your role, understanding what's really going on, don't succumb to the narrative of evil, the darkness. No one talks about this. Let me elaborate on this. This is a good topic. There is an agenda to fucking destroy you. Let's just put it out there. To fucking destroy you. And you motherfuckers are falling for it. Excuse my bluntness, excuse my use of language, but sometimes that's the only way to get through to people. You talk calm and rational, you'll scroll right through this shit. But when you tell a motherfucker the truth, hey man, they trying to kill your ass. Black, white, short, tall, fat, skinny, gay, straight, trans, Mexican, Polish, right? It don't give a damn. You matter not. You matter not. You matter not. The only thing that matters is they can control you and take your soul. And they're doing it to millions of people through consumerism, shopping. You're consumers. You need everything. I need a bag. I need clothes. I need everything you need. Never ever taking a moment just to be grateful for what you have. You know, really think about this. There's an agenda, man. There's an agenda. You live in a society where men say they have to fly to another country to be with a woman. What kind of sense does that make? You mean to tell me there are no good women in this country? I don't believe that. I know that's not true because all women aren't the same, just like all men are not the same. But you know what? Usually, what's that old saying? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's the people who are screaming it the loudest who are heard the most. I'm just one lone voice in the wind. But there are thousands of people up there saying, you know, just saying some of the most reckless, horrible things and who are influencing people in a negative way. And you know what? It might sound cool right now to do that, but I promise you, once you hit 50, 55, to my men, I say this, once it's time for the prostate check, once it's time for the colonoscopy, trust me, it's coming, dude. Oh, you can say what the fuck you want. I'm telling you what's coming. And for you women, oh, I don't need no man. Well, when it's time for the mammogram, the pap smear. How do I know these things? I've been married 30 fucking years. You gonna want somebody there with you. Don't be a dummy. Don't be a dummy. You can let them, listen, young men, when you lead with your dick, you're gonna wind up sick. That's right, I said it. If you leading with that dick, you most likely gonna wind up sick. Doing some stuff that you shouldn't be doing with a woman you had no business doing it with. And that door swings both ways. Now I got a baby with a dude I kinda like. I got a child with a dude I kinda like. All because you don't have the wherewithal, the intellectual capacity, you lack the maturity to control yourself and to think things through clearly. You know, take it from an old man. Listen to me. How you say, take it as my young guys say, OG. Take it from the OG, man. You got to stop making dumb decisions. You got to stop making dumb. I'm talking to my men. Stop putting your dick in everything. Stop. Stop. Stop putting your dick in everything. And to my lovely ladies, I don't care what race you are, because everybody fucking. That's how I got here. Let me tell you something, young lady. You can let these girls tell you, oh, you can sleep with as many men as you want. That's a lie. You're going to pay a price for that. I'm not putting you down. I don't have to judge you. You can judge yourself. All of us know when we're doing right, and all of us know when we're doing wrong. The fact is, none of us like to be called on it. That's just the truth. No one likes to be held accountable. Men don't like to be held accountable. Women don't like to be held accountable. And usually what happens in life, you're placed in a position where you're forced to. I'm of the mindset, don't let it happen to you. Men, stop putting your thing in everything that's moving. And ladies, stop looking at a man, what he could do for you. You need to be looking at how can he love me? Can he love me? Because trust me, you can get some bags and some shoes and some dresses and some clothes and some perfumes and wigs and weaves and jewelry. Trust! None of that shit mean nothing when you on motherfucking life support. Next question. Excuse my curtain. I know I was but it's just, I was passionate about that. I need people to understand the real, man. You understand the real, man? Ain't nobody special. Everybody dies. Nobody's special. That's right, you. I'm talking to you, not special. I'm not special. We're people. We all here. My wife says, well, I think you deserve your success. I said, baby, I understand what you're saying, but no, I earned it. Earn what you get. Next question. Let's go, Gus.
All right, I'm going to try to pick one that's semi-related, but how do I grow my value in the marketplace?
How do you grow your value in the marketplace? Is simple. Why does someone want to buy a Mercedes over a Honda? Why does someone like a Porsche rather than a 87 Ford? The way you increase value is through perception. You look at me and you see my suit and tie and handkerchief, and I come across as in your perception, if you will, as an individual who's a professional, this, that, and the third. But underneath this jacket are tattoos. You understand what I'm saying? All up down my arm from a different phase in my life. How you grow and evolve is entirely up to you. Here's what I would tell you to increase your value. Understand that in order for you to increase your value, you've got to become valuable. You see, most people, while they struggle in society, are not struggling because that there is a lack of opportunity. You just don't possess a skill set that's valuable. And if you're unable to see the changes that are coming, cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, you, my friend, have wound up being left behind. So the way you want to stay abreast is always be in a position where you're learning. Not just learning, but applying what you're learning. Most people are smart. Just work with me, audience. 2 + 2 is what? 4. You're smart. Mr. Johnson is wise. They're not the same thing. I need you to acquire wisdom. I want you to acquire wisdom. Well, what's the first aspect of wisdom? Self-preservation. You can do nothing if you can't take care of yourself. So I want you to focus on that aspect of it. How do I increase my value? I'm going to take care of my health. I'm going to take care of my mind, my mental, my emotions. Be very peculiar who you allow into your space. Most people are too trusting. Or especially too trusting towards the wrong people. I would ask that you develop the spirit of discernment. That when you walk in, you can feel the vibe of a person, so to speak. Everybody's not going to be your friend, and everybody's not happy for you. So what I would ask you to do is to develop the ability to discern the situation and the people that you're around. And not trying to make a strong religious argument. It's not what I'm here to do, but I will say meditation, prayer, and fasting, those things help me. I get a lot of comments from people struggling right and left, going through life. So the way you increase your value is through knowledge. And the way you increase your wisdom is through the application of the knowledge. So you see, the way to increase your value is to learn. To learn what about you? Who are you? What do you want to do? Most people run on a program. My mom and dad told me to go to college, I went to college. My mom and dad told me to go to Morehouse, I went to Morehouse. My mom and dad told me this. My mom and dad told me that. And some of those professional degrees and people are doing well in that type of aspect. But a lot of people that I know have degrees and are working in fields that are not even related to their degree. You have to find your path. And it takes courage, my friend. It takes courage to tell your parents that's not what I want to do. It takes courage to tell your spouse, I'm going to leave corporate America and start my own business, and you have a mortgage and car payments. But you know what? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And I would say this, the violent take it by force. In other words, power is not given, it's taken. Take your power and develop into the person that you desire to be. So the first way to increase your value is to become aware of who you are, what you are, and what you are capable of becoming. Don't doubt yourself. I'm not big on motivation. Motivation fades. But I will say this to you. Inspiration comes from within. Be inspired. Your own self-worth should be inspiration enough for you to move forward. And that's one of the things we talk about in the mentor program, about inspiration. Motivation fades. You can be highly motivated on Monday, Thursday, you're done. But inspiration comes from within you. In other words, it's not an external source that's driving you to do it, but it comes from within. The greatest power you will ever have always lies within your own thought, mind, and emotions. You must understand the secret to success. It's not just about an education. Many people are educated but poor. Many people have degrees that are in debt. This is just the truth. But Mr. Johnson, how do you become successful? It's like Neo said. What did Morpheus say? You got to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and unbelief. Free your mind. And hopefully your ass will follow. Next question.
We had someone write in that said that they were pretty much at rock bottom and they have nothing and looking for some advice just at that stage to turn their life around.
Well, you know, I've gotten several comments of individuals. One guy was wanting to commit suicide. And we've had something like that happen again today. Mr. Johnson, what do I do? I'm at rock bottom. I feel this. I feel that. There's so much going on. Here's what I will tell people is this. First of all, find someone to talk to. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, you can go to Google. There's plenty of different agencies out here who will help you into mental health. Hell, if I can be of assistance, I will be as well. My door is always open. But what I will say to you is that understand that your life matters. Understand that what you're going through is temporary, even though it seems like a long time, you know, in the grand scheme of your life. Let us suppose you're going through a bad 2-year stretch of life and you're 18. And this bad stretch started at 16. But at 19, your whole life turned around. That 2 years of your life could be the most crucial element or the turning point or the career-defining moment in your life to propel you to wherever you need to be. Don't run from pain. Let's just keep it real. Stop running from pain. It's pain that makes you feel this way. It's pain. It's pain. Nobody likes to hurt. I don't like to hurt. Pain will fuck you up, man. Life will beat you down, trample on your neck, and don't look back. But you know what? You're stronger than you realize. You are stronger than you realize. You have to learn to believe in yourself. Now, what do I do? What do I do? The conversation, the inward conversation you have to yourself. Look in the mirror and say this: I'm worthy. I'm good. I got this, even if it don't look that way. How many times must I repeat this, Mr. Johnson, until you start to believe it? You see, even in your circumstance, you're believing it to be true. And hence, because you believe it to be true, it must be that way for you. So a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you're saying I'm broken, I'm poor, by definition, you must be that way. But if you say I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm magnetic, I could do anything, and you keep repeating it to yourself, man, you're going to do it. Hey, I'm not into all that humble shit. You know, be humble before the creator, but fuck being humble before people. Evil is not humble. Evil is not humble. Evil's screaming. Evil's at the Super Bowl. Evil's throwing up signs. Evil's doing all types of things, man. But the good person, be humble. I'm of a different mindset. Nah, be bold, man. Start telling people the truth. Start telling them the truth. There's good and there's evil. What side you on? And then there's the effects of evil and good and how it affects people. And a lot of times the evil things that are happening affect people, especially with men, because we don't talk to it. You're going through a bunch of evil shit. You feel like you're by yourself. Your life is fucked up. Man, I'm going to put a bullet in my head. And you know who's won? The evil one. Your soul is the most valuable aspect that you could ever possess. You are a sanctioned being. Don't ever lose sight of that. Next question.
Why does struggle seem to be more common than thriving?
Why is struggle seem to be more common than thriving? Well, that's done by design. When you're dealing with an antiquated educational system, number one, also an educational system that puts people in a tremendous amount of debt, you meant to struggle. It's just that simple. What I would tell people is that struggle to a degree is necessary. It's no different than going to the gym. You only get stronger when you start breaking that muscle down, if you will, or where you reach a point of what's called muscle failure. It's that struggle, and it's in that process of those hard reps that you're really experiencing that growth as trainers have enlightened me on. So it's the same as with life. Every day is not going to be a great day. It's just not. And I don't have bad days. I love what my man Deion Sanders said. I don't have bad days, bad moments. I really dig that because it's true. It's a temporary thing. But at the same time, part of it, you have to embrace it and you have to deal with it. Now, the question is simply this, because everyone goes through struggles, it's how you respond to them. It's how you respond to them. Many people run. It's like a natural state of people to run away from their problems. They're going to run as opposed to standing your ground and facing it. So what I would tell you is whatever struggle you might be enduring, and listen, I don't mind putting my business out. I done been through bankruptcy. I done been in foreclosure. I'm a businessman. You're going to go through ups and downs. That's just life. And I'm not afraid to share that with people because through those things, it was tough. It was a struggle. Believe me, it was very difficult at times. But what I did learn, I was stronger than I realized. And a lot of times those struggles are to bring you to a point so you can go to the next level. It really is. You can't give a 12-year-old the keys to a Lamborghini. You can't give a person a car that's a stick shift if they don't know how to drive a clutch. It's just not going to work. And it's the same as with life. You can't go to a certain level in business or in life, whatever you're trying to do, without possessing those knowledge. Hell, college is a struggle. You're going to school and you're studying for an exam, and it's tough. It's really hard for you. You're in study hall. You're doing whatever you got to do. You might only get a C, and you bust your ass studying for that exam. But it was still through that you got through it. So what I would say to you is embrace your struggle. Now, does that mean that every struggle is easily embraced? Absolutely not. But be mindful of this. Sometimes in life, the greatest challenges are given to the strongest warriors. It's just that simple. And you're strong, and you don't know how strong you are until you test yourself. There was a line in the Man of Steel where Superman's father is saying to him, the only way you can tell how strong you are is to keep testing your limits. You got to keep testing your limits and see how far you can go. So embrace your struggle. Don't run from it, because I assure you, if you get through it, you'll be a lot better for it. But the individual who runs is probably most likely bound to repeat it. Next question.
We had a listener write in that they admitted they didn't have any budget and didn't know where to begin. So what advice would you give to start budgeting?
Well, what advice would I give to start budgeting? Is real simple. First thing you're going to do is stop the bleeding. What do I mean by stopping the bleeding, ladies and gentlemen? Stop spending more than what you make. It's just that simple. That's very difficult for people to do because people confuse necessities with wants. What are necessities? Food, clothing, shelter, transportation, good health. Those are absolutely quintessential necessities. You having a $25,000 purse or a $400,000 car, that's a want. It's just that simple. And I know that's what's promoted in our society, have this, have that. I get it. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to, disregard it. But when you really think about it, when you really think about the whole setup, the fact that I would buy a $25,000 or a $10,000 purse or a $400,000 car that's going to depreciate in value as soon as I drive off the lot. Now, if you got that kind of capital and bread to do it, by all means, live your life. But most people not rocking like that. Those are not really sound investments. You can't spend your way to wealth. I'm going to tell you that again. You can invest your way to wealth. So if I don't have anything, I want to beg to differ and tell you, you do have something. You have yourself. You know how I got started? With a cell phone and a dream. Started my drone company and the mentor program after I came out of corporate America. Didn't have a lot of resources as far as huge investments of capital and things of that nature, but I was tenacious. I was determined. I never forget I was in a business meeting one day and the guy said to me, you know what I love about you, Mr. Johnson? And I was like, what's that? He said, man, you are extremely persistent. Sometimes you have to be persistent. I was told so many times that I told my team no means next. That's just what I said. No. But you know what? Eventually someone said yes, and the rest is history. You do have something. You have your mind, you have your will, you have your thoughts. So let me give you some game. Listen to the old man speak to you. Listen to the OG. I'm telling you a secret. Now, a lot of people might shit on this ideology, but I'm telling you something. You could will yourself into a situation. I'm telling you, you can. How do I do that, Mr. Johnson? Don't identify with what you don't want in your life. If you're struggling financially, like I'm giving you a scenario. There were moons ago, I was going through a rough time financially, and my wife would come to me and say, baby, the bills are due. And because I was hurting for cash, whatever, it just became a very stressful situation. I'm going to give you another plug here. I started listening to this guy called Neville Goddard. You can find him on YouTube, all right? So if that's what my intuition led me to. I started watching this guy called Neville Goddard. And he had this video called God and I Are One. And I watched it. And I watched it over and over. And it resonated with me. It really did. And I started implementing the things that he was saying. And I promise you, please, brothers and sisters, I ain't no preacher. I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm just keeping it a buck so you can understand, how did this brother do it? Man, when I changed my inward conversation, my wife would say the bills is due. I didn't ask her what bills would due. I just would say, how much money we need? And she would tell me, all right, cool. You know what I would do? I have that. Now, I'm not just sitting around not doing nothing, mind you. I'm still pushing. I'm still grinding. And I remember the first time I saw it work, I kept telling my wife, I'm gonna have 10 grand in the bank by the end of the month. I'm gonna have 10 grand, and this was moons ago. And at the end of the month, you know what was there? $10,000. I promise you, I'm telling you. Well, how did it do it? Did it happen by osmosis? No. There is something that you have in your mind, which is your imagination. It's a very powerful tool. Just think about it. When you go get in your car today, or you get on a bus or the train, remember that was once a thought. Someone thought that shit up. And here's what I want to tell you. The same ability that they have, you possess. You do possess it. How do you see it in your mind? If you see yourself poor, then you must become that. If you see yourself sick, the odds are you'll become sick. If you see yourself lonely, the odds are you will be lonely. Now let's flip the coin over. What if you saw yourself successful? What if you saw yourself happy and healthy? What if that happened? It's fascinating to me that people will focus on the negative as opposed to the positive. Albert Einstein did an exercise where he wrote down some timetables, and he did it all the way up to I think it was 9 times 1, and he got them all right up to the last one. And everyone started laughing at him because he got the last one wrong, but he actually did it on purpose. And he said to the class, I got everything right, and I got one wrong, and everyone laughed at me, because most people are going to focus on the negative. You got to train your mind to focus on the positive. You need to be trained in your mind. Now, how do you train yourself? We train ourselves through repetition. Little baby learn to walk, it crawls. Stands up, falls. Stands up again, falls. Stands up, takes a steps and falls. Stands up again, takes 2 steps and falls. Stands up again, falls down again. Stands up again, then runs and falls. Such is life. Read between the lines. Next question.
You've mentioned on many podcasts how to guard your mind, and we've had people write in that they just want to know more examples about how to do that.
How do you guard your mind? It's real simple. Taking control of it. Most people are not in control of their mind. Their mind is in control of them. This is just the truth. You even try to subdue your mind. Let me give me that fifth of Henny. Let me get that ooh-wee. Why? I'm trying to dull my mind. Why? Because the mind is always running. You're sitting on the toilet, it's thinking about something. You're laying in the bed, it's thinking about something. You're waking up, you're thinking about something. But here's the deal. You're never able to not necessarily control what's coming, but to guide what's coming. You see, how you guard your mind is by having a filter of what you allow into it. If you listen to a bunch of satanic, devil-ass, this rap music I hear about killing each other, but you're sick, and you wonder why these young brothers and sisters died, you literally are calling death to you. You promote it, you speak it, because you are a God. According to Psalms 82 and John chapter 10 and verse 34, I said ye are gods. So as a God, you have the ability to call something that is not as though it were. So if you constantly keep saying something over and over again, it's going to come to you. You're going to draw it to you. You can call it magnetism, divine intervention, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is it becomes to you because that's what you preach. That's what you speak. That's what you radiate. So when you radiate anger and bitterness, you're going to run into that. If you radiate poverty and lack, that's who you're around. You hang around 10 broke people, you make the 11th one. It's just that damn simple. It's just that damn simple. And these are the things they're not going to teach you. They're not going to teach you this in elementary, junior high, or high school, even in college. They're going to teach you to be an employee. They're going to teach you to be just like them. And hence the cycle continues. So it's imperative that you guard your mind. I want you to use this analogy. Stay with me. You walk into a museum. There's a big, rare pink diamond. It's encased to the glass with a stanchion around it and a guard. Why? Because it's valuable. Now place the guard in front of your mind. Your diamond is the mind, the stanchions are the guards, and the person standing in front of that is you. Be very careful of what you allow into this. because what you allow into this creates what you see around you. Your mind makes it real. Don't forget it. Next question.
And you actually just mentioned it on the last answer, but why? How have most people become programmed to be employees?
Most people, now we need employees. Everyone can't be an entrepreneur. Everyone can't be a business owner, but it's just training. It's just programming. From the time we're taken out of our home and you're placed in kindergarten or preschool or first grade, second grade, you're being programmed. Then the employee mindset comes from just that. Your mom and dad are working, your grandparents work, but times have changed now. Young people aren't going to college the way they used to. They just are not. You know, you got young people on YouTube making thousands of dollars. You got young people on Instagram making thousands of dollars. You got young men and women who are traders and things of that nature, trading crypto. The world has changed. And what happens is most people, after maybe about 45, that's a different generation, maybe 35 years old, they are unable to change with it. And so you're familiar with what's comfortable to you. You're comfortable getting up, going to work, getting that paycheck every week. I couldn't do that. I couldn't just necessarily trade my time for money. Now, I'm not knocking anybody who got a regular gig. There's nothing wrong with being a mechanic, nothing wrong with being in construction. I did all that, believe me. But at the end of the day, as I've gotten older, I realized the only person who was really becoming successful was the person who owned it. The person who owned it was the one who was, even though you paying me well, the person who owned it made all the money. And that's what I looked at. So I would encourage everyone, if you can explore ownership, please do. If not, I understand it. There's no harm, no foul, 401k, retirement plans, whatever, Social Security. But the fact is, I'm not waiting on the government to do nothing for me. Not at all. I don't care who's in office, to be honest with you. It makes no never mind to me. I really wish you would embrace that mentality. Because if you thinking somebody in that office is going to save you, my friend, you are already fucked up from the floor up. Next question.
That's pretty much all the questions. We did have some about crypto, like if it'll ever be the standard, like we could check out at Walmart with some crypto.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. Listen, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would tell anyone, I believe the best way out of any situation is through knowledge and application. If you're making money, you need to be investing that money. You need to take some time to look at dividends and what are dividends for a stock that's paying me? What is Bitcoin? What is XRP? What is Ethereum? What is Solana? All these things you're hearing being talked about. And that's which is great to find out about. But this is just a new financial industry that's coming down the pipeline. It's almost, believe it or not, somewhat biblical and prophetic. One world government, one world currency, if you will. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, it's not coming. It's already here. My philosophy is simple. Participate and be a part of it so you don't have to be on the tail end of it. So listen, I would advise you to study about money. You need to learn about money. Learn about money. I'm talking the dollar, the Jewish mark, the pesos, the yen, the shekel. You dig? That's what I'm trying to. Hey, listen, man. Some people say the love of money is the root of all evil. I'm not saying that's not true, but I say the lack of money is the root of all crime. Because when you got plenty of bread, there's no reason to steal. You know, it's just the truth, man. It's just the truth. Don't be so conditioned that you can't see the forest for the trees. We all need money to live. The quality of life is predicated to some degree on the kind of money you have. Now, there are some people who can live well and don't make a lot of money and are rich in ways you can't comprehend. This is the truth, too. But most of us understand what, milk being $6. A dozen of eggs is $4.50. You need some bread, man. So I would encourage you to look at these things. And I'm going to tell you something else. Man, you can go to YouTube and find out all this information for free. This is why I'm a huge proponent of technology, and I hate the antiquated system that we're being taught. You learning history in high school has nothing to do with a P&L statement. It was not going to put any money in your pocket. I propose that from the 10th grade to the 12th grade, young men and women should be learning about the stock market and investments, credit, funding, and those type of things. But they're never going to teach you that. If you teach them that, you are then by definition more equipped than your teacher to go out there and to make the life that you want. So they're never going to teach you that. So I encourage all the parents that are listening to me, sit down and talk to your kids about credit, funding, loans. Another rule, use the bank's money, man. Use the bank's money. That's what it's there for. So understand, by guarding your mind, understanding the process of business and how I better my life is through knowledge, not necessarily education. How many people are educated that are poor? But yet you hear these guys who have a high school diploma, he's a multimillionaire. Say less. Well, listen, guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope that you have enjoyed this message. Listen, man, I'm serious. I want you to be successful, but I'm going to keep it real to you. And I'm going to talk to the people now from the last post that we put up about if you didn't have a father, because a lot of people have responded to that. Man, listen, I know it's tough, and a lot of times we don't just want to have these conversations, but listen to me. I'm never going to tell you. Here's what I want you to know. Whether you grew up with your father or not, or even your mother, at the end of the day, it's your life. What I want you to do is to write down what you want to be. This is the first thing I would tell any young man or woman, or anybody. What do you want? Once you establish what you want, we're going to start going through that from a prioritization perspective. What's the top priority? Young man, I want you to take care of yourself. I'm telling you straight. Have I smoked weed before? Hell yeah. Have I gotten drunk before? Hell yeah. I wasn't always this way. Not at all. But as I've gotten older, I'm just so grateful that I survived it. I'm not bragging on it, believe me, that I survived it. And so looking back on it, you ever hear someone say, looking back on it, what would you do differently? Take care of your body. All that money you spending for weed, rims, jewelry, whatever, you should be investing that shit, man. Nothing lasts forever. Tell me one artist that's been famous forever. None. Everybody has a hot peak, then you come down. And you see a lot of these cats wind up in precarious situations because no one was telling them to invest their money to do this. Or if the people who were telling them, they was robbing them. A lot of financial investors rob people. That's right, I said it. Bunch of crooks. They rob you with them fees and all that shit. And you know why they getting you? Because your ass is too lazy to read the damn fine print and do it for your goddamn self. That's just the truth. Stop being intellectually lazy. I'm going to say this to you again. You cannot afford to be intellectually lazy. If you don't like to read, you're done. You're done. If you're going to take everything that's... Listen, I have attorneys. Man, listen to me. Your knowledge is the only thing that's going to save you. Your discipline is what will keep you. And it's your faith that will sustain you. Those are the crucial elements that only life can teach you. But I want to encourage young men and women to value your life. Don't hang around them bullshit ass people. Hey, if your boy telling you, yo, man, let's go rob this nigga, that's not your friend, bro. Fuck what he talking about. If I'm putting you in jeopardy to put you in prison, how the fuck are you my friend? What the fuck? How you young folks say, where they do that at? What the fuck? If your girl telling you to leave your fucking husband and she over there sitting by her goddamn self watching fucking TMZ with a bottle of wine and a rabbit, what the fuck? Listen, I keep it a buck. Fuck what you think, man. Because it ain't shit none of you can do for me. Nothing. So why are you out here, Mr. Johnson? Because I'm tired of this bullshit that's being perpetrated upon society. Telling these people a bunch of bullshit. If you got a husband and he love you, dude, if you got a girl and she love you and you just going through some shit, you work that shit the fuck out. Don't fucking run. Ain't nothing out here but some fucking HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea. The fuck you mean? What, you want to have 3 kids by 3 different men? What the fuck is that prideful at? 4 and 5 different baby daddy. That's some bullshit. That's right, I said it. Some of you might not like it. I can appreciate your position. But it doesn't mean that what I'm saying is not true. I'm going to tell you the truth. Sisters, keep your fucking legs closed, man. Fuck wrong with you, man? Every man don't deserve access to your JJ. Have a discharge smelling like a dumpster. That's right, I said it. Hey, yo, bro. So you got the fat whip, you got your scat pack. I feel you, playboy. But you got this one pregnant, and this one pregnant, and this one pregnant. And now they want child support, and they're taking you to court, and they want 20% of this, and 20% of that, and 20% of this. Now you fucked up for the next 18 motherfucking years, all because you wanted some pussy. Dumbass. That's stupid. You know who get caught up in that shit? Stupid motherfuckers who do stupid shit. You gonna fuck around, and you gonna find out. I gotta keep it real. I gotta be who I am. I'm sorry. You know, some of you, I can't believe he said that. But it's what I'm saying, a lie. Being politically correct gets you nothing. You gotta tell the truth, man. And I'm talking to my people, black people. I don't want to deal with, yo, man, they fucking running game on us. You letting this shit get you. You letting this shit destroy you. The prison is the new motherfucking slave ship. That's where they sending you motherfuckers. They got a place for your ass. Trust and believe me. They got a place for you dumb motherfuckers that want to rob and kill and steal. They got a place for your ass. And here's the worst part about it. My G, you don't even have to fucking go. Fuck you mean? You ain't gotta go to fuck the prison? Yo, to all my brothers out there promoting that prison is cool and all, yo, fuck that. That's a fucking lie. Stop telling our black people that going to prison is cool. And stop fucking killing each other. I'm sick of that shit. Stop it. Stop killing each other. Ain't nothing worth your motherfucking life, G. All these young black men getting fucking killed. What the fuck? And yo, who the fuck raising them? You know your goddamn son got a fucking 9 in his bedroom and can't even read. Oh, but y'all won't have that conversation, do you? You want me to be politically correct and polite and make you feel good. You got the wrong motherfucker. Anyway, back to bed, Mr. Johnson. Let me compose myself. I hope you guys have a wonderful week and a great day. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Again, this is Mr. Johnson with the Evolution Podcast. Make sure you hit the like, comment, and subscribe. As with all things, remember, your mind makes it real. Peace.